What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Intentional Iron Podcast. Today, I am joined by this 19-year-old freak, Sam Molfino. Is that your name?
Sam Molfino. Yes,
Sam
sir.
Molfino. Yes. So, as you guys probably saw in the thumbnail, this guy is quite large, quite the big individual. So, I wanted to get him on here. He's a younger cat in the bodybuilding scene that I wanted to get on here and just kind of talk with and pick his brain to see his upcomings, kind of what he's gotten into this all for. So, Sam, if you don't mind, tell us who you are, kind of what got you into the gym, how that led to bodybuilding and all that kind of stuff. Just kind of give us like the backstory of Sam.
Yeah, so hey everybody. Really started out around COVID. Before COVID, I played ice hockey most of my younger years. I think I started playing when I was like 9 or 10. And when they shut everything down for COVID, all the ice rinks were closed and I was going stir crazy at home.
Yeah.
So I had a couple 25-pound dumbbells and a couple 50-pound dumbbells
Hmm.
from my dad when he used to work out at home.
Yeah.
And I would go on YouTube and I'd look out like 30-minute upper body
Yeah.
dumbbell workout, all that shit. And eventually for my birthday, I asked for this little bench so I could start doing sessions at home. So I really fell in love with just pumping iron, the way it made me feel, seeing
Yeah.
my body change and evolve.
Yeah. Did you have to like work out for ice hockey and stuff? Like were you in the gym for that kind of thing or no?
I mean, they really didn't place a whole lot of emphasis on like lifting weights or anything. There was like mobility and speed work, but not really weightlifting. No.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So it was pretty new to me when I got into that. And then eventually, when they did start opening up the gyms, I went with my dad. He took me to the gym on base. He was in the army, retired, so he still had access to the army base.
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
one of the first gyms to open up.
Yeah.
So I started going with him, and I loved it, man. I loved it.
That's
I
awesome.
spent all day in there.
Yeah. 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 I was similar like upbringing like that when COVID came around. That was when I gained all my weight and stuff. And then once I gained all the weight, I was like, I got to get into the gym. Like this is not gonna work, bro. I cannot be this damn big. But yeah, COVID definitely changed the route for like a lot of people. But just being in you're 19, right?
Yeah, I'm not team.
It's fucking crazy.
We turn 20 in March here pretty soon, so
20 in
I
March,
can't
yeah.
pull the teenager card much longer.
No
But
more teenager card. Yeah. So just being your age and being like you're pretty ahead of the curve as far as bodybuilding goes. How does that feel? Like do you feel like you are like that big, like you are that guy, or like how do you like manage that mentally, like being that ahead of the game?
it doesn't really cross my mind, man. Like when I'm
That's
on
not
stage,
bad.
they don't ask you how old you are when you're up there in a lineup. I mean, whoever has the most developed physique with
Yeah.
the best shape, the best structure, the best muscularity, that's who's gonna win ultimately. I don't care how old I am.
Yeah.
I don't care how old the guy next to me is. I'm just here to be the better bodybuilder. So people might compliment me on my age or how far I've come in this short amount of time I've been training.
Yeah.
But I just look at it as I've been able to grow this much this quickly. How
Yeah.
much further can I get? You know?
Right. You being your age and being like, I know you said you don't give a fuck about like the age thing or whatever, but it's like just seeing. I remember Nick had mentioned like your name when I first saw it. Like he first mentioned you on his podcast. I looked you up. I was like, what the fuck? That shit's crazy. That's awesome. Like, what was that show that you did? Your that show that you sent me in the thumbnail. What was that?
That was the Battle of Texas.
Yeah, yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember.
yeah.
I remember watching that, being like, bro, this kid's fucking awesome. That's all. It's so cool seeing that. Getting back to the podcast and everything. Like I said, being down in Dallas, like, do you think that being in that environment has helped you? Like, I've asked this to a lot of guys before. Like, how important do they think just being in the correct environment is? Like, how much do you think moving from Washington to Dallas has helped you as far as like bodybuilding, whether it be like motivation, whether it be connections or what have you?
So I think first of all, you can make progress anywhere. It's ultimately up to you and your mindset. Like you could be in the middle of buttfuck nowhere, but if you have the right work ethic and mentality, you're gonna make progress. But when you're surrounded by all the resources I have, like the absolute recomp gym down here, which have the best equipment selection in the country,
Yeah.
unless you go to Dubai or something, you're not gonna get anything like it. And then we have Destination, have access to all these fantastic pros who are doing seminars and meetups and all this stuff. It definitely does push you in the right direction. But for someone who's not able to say live in the perfect environment like I am,
Mhm.
I really do think they can still make crazy progress just as well. It's just easier for me. I'm lucky, I'm blessed enough to be able to be in this environment, but not everyone else is. And
Yeah.
I realize that. And
Yeah.
there are people still making crazy gains.
Mhm.
So Is it easier? Yes. Is it a must? I wouldn't say so.
Yeah, that's a good point. There's a lot of guys that like you'll see they'll be training like out of like a home gym and just look crazy, and then some guys
We're
will
in a
have
fucking Planet Fitness or something. Like,
yeah, and then some
you
guys will
know,
be in
yeah.
like a great gym and have like all the access to all the equipment and look like nothing. So it's like it does all come down to just like building. I've always told guys like they're like I can't find the right guys to work out with. I can't find the right training partner. It's like it's all in here. Like you can create your own. You can be in like you said, buttfuck nowhere. Like I live in buttfuck nowhere. I live in like a 5,000 person population city in Arkansas. Like, there's like no one here, and it's like you can just create your own environment within your head, and that's all that matters. Like the external thing really doesn't matter. But definitely being in Texas, I bet it's awesome having access to so many different gyms
Yeah.
and like all the connections and stuff, and that's fucking cool. There's I've seen some of those absolute recomp videos, like some of the stuff in there, and it's just I don't know how I was talking about that in my video yesterday. I was like, I don't even know how I would like structure a program with so many options. I want to do everything. Like I just want to do this. I want to do that. It's like I don't know how I would do it, bro. That's
You know how
crazy.
many hours I spent, dude? Like a kid in a candy shop just trying out machines.
That's
You know? Yeah.
that's the exact reference I made yesterday. I went to a gym that has like a couple of more pieces than my gym, and I was like, I feel like a kid in a candy shop or like a kid on Christmas. Like this is
Yeah.
awesome. This is so
Yeah.
cool. That's awesome, bro. So as far as bodybuilding goes, I wanted to ask when you first got into like the bodybuilding scene or whatever, who are some of your like first like models or motivations or maybe guys you want to look like, and who are some guys like right now that you look up to as well, like as far as like the crop of guys that are at the top of the game, like the Samsons and all them. Like who are those guys that you look up to?
So when I first started getting into it, I was starting to watch like coaching podcasts,
Yeah,
and I was really trying to teach myself. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So I don't know if you've heard of Paul Barnett, Big Paul,
yeah,
Anabolic Bodybuilding.
yeah,
I loved how blunt he was with shit.
yeah,
And he
yeah.
would just say it straight as it was, not dancing around anything. He was definitely someone who I learned a lot about, like nutrition, how to eat properly, even like basic carb cycling and PD protocols and all that. Just keeping shit simple. He's definitely one of them. Chris Tuttle, fantastic.
I love Tuttle, bro. Yeah,
His knowledge is insane. I mean, Justin Harris, another great one.
yeah.
Awesome.
You just named three bangers, dude.
Yeah, yeah. The Unracked podcast is
Yeah,
where I go for most of my information right now.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. That's awesome.
So those are definitely role models in the coaching space. Obviously, Nick, his podcast is great, and being able to talk to him like personally, he knows me, is nothing's gonna beat that, you know. And then in terms of pros, well, I really got into like looking up to the old school guys, you know, Paul Dillette,
Yeah,
Dorian, all the crazy mass monsters. Like I looked at it like, is that shit even real?
yeah,
How is that achievable? You
right.
know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So
So you more so look up to kind of like the coaches more so than like the athletes themselves.
I don't want to make it sound like I'm like super like self-focused on myself,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
when I'm trying to improve myself, it's like, how
The
much
knowledge.
am I going to get out of watching some other genetically blessed guy?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to improve myself. So I more so appreciate the coach's ability to really have knowledge that I don't have and try
Mm-hmm.
and soak that up for myself.
That
So
makes
that's mostly what I look at when I'm scrolling through reels or doing anything where I'm trying to like learn something. It's
mm-hmm.
mostly looking at coaches.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing.
Because
Yeah.
you're trying to be I know you mentioned earlier that you had a couple clients where like you're trying to be a coach yourself, right?
So
Not
really, I haven't gotten
training.
into coaching very much at all.
Okay, yeah.
Honestly, with you, definitely is something I'm passionate about, hands down. Honestly, I don't really know where to start, and I want to make sure I have the amount of time in my hands necessary to really focus on my clients. You know,
Yeah.
to really get everything in line to where when I do have a client, they're not going to be waiting on me to reply or XYZ. I need to be there for them. So when I do start coaching and put myself out there, I need to make sure I'm in a spot where I'm really able to be the best coach I possibly can. So that's the biggest thing right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's for sure. I know a lot of guys will say like you can't be like a full time, you can't be the best bodybuilder you can be if you're trying to be like a very good coach as well. And I can definitely see that like because there's so many things that go into coaching that I think people don't like take into consideration, like how attentive you really do need to be. Like it's not just hey here's a diet, here's your training, go fuck off. It's like it's so much more in depth, especially if you're coaching like competitors. Now, if you're coaching like more lifestyle people, I could see it being a little more hands off. But if you're trying to coach like competitively, like doing people's preps and stuff, like I've recently been going through like J3U or whatever, and it's like how attentive like like that camp of people are, like the John Jewetts of the world, and like everybody in J3U or whatever. It's like you are there, like for peak week, for example, you're there for like every hour of the day, and you were like your whole week is like there, like
Yeah.
you're looking at them, like it's very you have to be very attentive and everything like that. But speaking of coaches, like how has your experience been with Nick, and is he your first coach that you've had, like
He's
bodybuilding
my
coach?
first coach. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
that's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah. So how has your experience been with him?
Yeah, so pretty much I reached out to him around 20 weeks out from Battle of Texas. And at that point, I'd already kind of been cleaning up things a little bit, cleaning up my diet, trying to get my body fat in a reasonable range. And just working with him, the first thing we did, like, I'm just going to say it out loud, we dropped the drugs a shitload.
Yeah,
I was running way too much, because my solution to the problem was always take more. And I think most people know who are educated that's not the answer at all. You're just going to cause inflammation. Your body's going to be pretty much saying, "What the fuck is going on?
yeah,
We're toxic as hell." You know, we're
yeah,
not in a spot where we can change or adapt ourselves or lose fat or anything like that.
yeah,
So we pulled my dosages way down, and I felt much better just right off the bat doing that. And honestly, my progress increased.
yeah,
You know, started losing body fat significantly, started dropping weight. But my food was something we kind of quickly learned. I'm able to eat a lot of food and still lose fat relatively well. Like I'm blessed that way. So in the dieting phase, I don't think we really went below 3,500 calories. I don't think
that's
we
correct.
we ever
How tall are
did.
you? How tall are you?
I'm just below 6 foot. I'm 5'11".
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
And if I wouldn't have had Nick there, I definitely would have gotten in my own head. Probably dieted too hard. Probably
yeah,
come in flat as a pancake. And
right.
he's like, he had to reel me in a little bit.
Hmm.
So it's been great with Nick because I'm very impulsive, as I'm sure a lot of competitors are.
Yeah, for sure.
Having a second pair of eyes there and a much wiser persona to guide me,
Yeah.
game changer, bro.
Game
Yeah.
changer, yeah. I think that's what a lot of guys miss, like getting into like bodybuilding. Is like I want to do it all myself, and I thought the same thing. I thought I kind of wanted to coach myself and like just figure it out. But it's like when you get down to like hell, even like 16 weeks out, like your brain is just kind of off, and like having a good pair of eyes, especially when you get down to like 4 and 5 weeks out when you're like dead. You need like a good set of eyes as as accurate as you think that you can assess yourself when you're like if you get low on food, or if your drugs are out of the world, if your cardio is at 2 hours or whatever, as good as you think that you are at judging yourself and what you need to do, it's like you're definitely not.
Yeah.
There's only like a handful of guys, like John Dewey can do it, Nick Walker can do it, and I'm sure there are other guys, but as far as everybody else in the world, you need a good second pair of eyes for sure. I think that's one of the most beneficial things is like the off season's kind of not easy, but the off season's pretty simple. Eat, lift hard, and grow. But then you get down to prep, you really need like a good set of eyes to guide you in the right way. And Nick's definitely one of those guys. Like, from watching his podcast, he seems like a really smart guy for sure.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Like, I've done 2 shows self-coached just to kind of build on what you're talking about. And for the first show, I went hyper extreme, hype, because they were the Vancouver Open or Vancouver Classic in Washington, and then a couple weeks later, I think it was less than a month later, there was the Emerald Cup, which is a pretty solid sized show. A
Yeah,
couple people I'm sure know that one, but for the first show, I was out of my mind. I was waking up at 3 a.m. before school to go train until 7. I was in the gym for 4 hours lifting. Way too much volume, stupid volume. Doing hours of cardio a day. Hardly getting any sleep. If I go back and look at my face, I was like, my face was all puffy and shit. I
yeah,
didn't know how to properly dose anything. I don't think I was on AIs either. So
yeah,
my estrogen was through the roof. I was sleep deprived.
yeah,
Uh, Running a bunch of stupid compounds that no one my age had any business running.
yeah,
And I came into the show and I just looked unhealthy. Unhealthy. I looked super stretched out, flat. Granted, I didn't have very much muscle on me. I just
right,
turned 18.
yeah,
And then I was getting ready for the next show, like a month later, the Emerald Cup, and kind of started to lose my mind a little bit. But I would be going to Safeway after school
yeah,
every day, and I would get one of those mega sized boxes of cereal, and I
yeah,
would eat that shit dry on my car, the hood of my car, because of the hood of my car.
That's
And
crazy.
then I would go to the gym and train for like 4 or 5 hours because
Yeah.
that's what I thought it meant to like carb load. You know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
stupid as shit. So
Yeah.
I came into the next show.
Yeah.
I think it took some Anadrol too
Yeah.
for that pre-contest,
Well, hey
and
man.
I think I was 30 pounds heavier in the course
Dang.
of a month,
Dang.
and neither were good looks. But I probably think the first one was better.
Yeah,
Like this
for
is the
sure.
shit that happens when your mental's fucked up on prep. You don't have a coach, and
Yeah.
you don't know what the fuck you're doing. So
Yeah.
if you're thinking about getting a coach for your first show, please do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
I
You're gonna thank me later.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. You definitely can get in your head because it's always every bodybuilder's mental is always like more is better, more this, more that, and it's like you always have to have. It's easy to say that like looking back, on whatever, but it's like when you're in the moment, it's like whenever you're like you have your eye on the show or whatever. It's like you sometimes you're just willing to do anything. You're willing to do literally anything, and it's like just pushing for more and more and more, and that's why you need to have like a good coach. And it doesn't have to be like obviously you want to get a good coach, but it doesn't even have to be like the the best coach in the world. Just someone to guide.
You don't need a Chris Tuttle to come in shape.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I
you
mean?
you really
Yeah.
don't. And it's like you just need
Yeah.
someone to be like, hey, like chill out. Like the 2 hours of cardio and the no food you're doing is already enough. Like relax. And it's
The
like
keto's not gonna help, bro. The keto's
yeah,
not gonna help.
yeah. My
Yeah.
first two preps have been pretty difficult, bro. Like I'm not like you, bro. I'm not blessed like you to where I can die on a lot of food. Like I gotta dig. But like I remember my first prep 2 years ago, I got down to like 950 calories.
Good lord, man.
Dude, yeah,
That's
like
less than my girl was eating. Holy
yeah,
shit.
I was dug down, but it's like looking back on like hard preps like that, like your first one you said you died down and like killed yourself or whatever. It's like it's always good to have I think it's in my opinion, it's always good to have your first couple preps be like killers because then you look back and like every prep after that's kind of easy. Like this past prep, like I didn't diet, I wasn't dieting on like 3,000 calories, but I was dieting on more than I was my first one. And just looking back on that first prep, it's like every prep compared to my first one will forever now be easy because that first one was like hell. You know what I mean? So that's what I've seen a lot of guys talk about is like their first prep, just like for some clients they'll like kill them on their first prep, so like every prep afterwards just feels like a cakewalk or whatever.
I
But
also feel like for that first prep, your body doesn't know what the hell is going on. And for preps after that, you snap into gear so much quicker. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah, for
Like
sure.
you don't really have that whole like I almost feel like it's a 10-week process before you actually start to really lose fat on your first prep versus now in the course of a week, if I drop my calories and up my cardio, I'm seeing changes every day.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Whenever you
yeah,
start like a pre-prep phase, it does seem like for a lot of guys, it's like their body's just like it's time to prep and just starts like kicking everything up for sure.
yeah.
I was gonna ask one thing. If you could have one, like if you could have like not saying that Nick isn't like your dream coach or whatever, but if you could have like if you could have one guy in the bodybuilding space to be your coach, who would it be? Like who would you have as like a dream coach? You think?
First of all, Nick, if you're watching this, I'm not going anywhere. I love you, buddy. Okay, you started me off in this shit, and I'm loyal as hell. But when I'm thinking about coaches, I'm thinking about more about like characteristics of a coach.
Yeah, I like that.
And for myself, I'm anxious as hell. Nick knows this. I will get in my own head. I'll freak out very easily, like even at little minute things. So I would definitely need a calmer presence, someone who's like calm and relaxed. And when I think about that, I think about Chris Aceto right away. You know?
I was thinking he's gonna say Aceto. I knew it. I knew
Yeah,
he
yeah,
would do it.
yeah. Like he almost seems like a fucking like science teacher in high school or something, bro.
Yeah, he's
Like
just like, yep, do this,
super laid
do that,
back.
do this, and then they come on stage, perfect. Yeah, I did that. It's like what?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's funny.
So
I love that.
just a calming presence, not giving me too much to think about. Just like, hey, do this. Okay, I'll do it. I'm not really one to like ask too many questions. I'm just gonna do it because if I'm fully invested in a coach, which I will be, if they're my coach, I'm just gonna listen to them no matter what. You know. So Aceto, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, that's a good one. Aceto, I love his. He has like personality, but he also doesn't like you said. He doesn't overcomplicate anything. It's
yeah.
like I've heard like guys' stories like he'll like send not protein like meal plans out and it'll be like 50p for the protein, 60c for the carb. He's like just do whatever, and then it's like It's just he's so. That's how my coach is too. I think that's where Justin gets a lot of his like principles from is from Aceto because all of his stuff is super just basic and it's like just don't overcomplicate it, bro. Just don't overcomplicate it. And speaking of overcomplicating, is kind of where I wanted to segue into is kids getting into the gym nowadays or guys getting into the gym nowadays overcomplicating everything, like literally
Oh, Lord.
everything, whether it be diet, training, style, literally everything. What are your thoughts on like the current? Like, I don't think that you don't fit into like the typical 19-year-old getting into the gym archetype that people think about nowadays. Like nowadays, you're thinking about like getting into bodybuilding for the followers, for the likes, for the superficial bullshit. So like, what are your thoughts? And this is kind of what are your views on that being like the theme for getting into bodybuilding nowadays?
So before there was social media, think about the 90s. People were in the gym training their ass off because they loved it. And now I feel like a good 50% of the people on social media creating content are doing it for money, for clout, for followers, not because they actually love training. And when you watch these people's training videos, you can see it. They're not they're not so engulfed in their set that they don't notice anything else going around them. Like I think I heard Jay Cutler saying people were like in the gym complaining about music. He's like, "What music?" You know what I mean? Nothing else matters.
Yeah,
Now people are walking around setting up their tripods and worrying about their fucking mic positioning on their t-shirt. A love of the game, a love of bodybuilding has definitely become more of a rare thing. So all these kids are looking up to people who are producing content for views. They're producing content that's made to be different than everyone else's. So of course they're going to be doing outlandish shit so that they can stick out. You know what I mean? All these crazy, overcomplicated movements, fucking putting straps on their elbows and doing lat pull downs, all these crazy fad diets, all carb, like sugar diets, no
yeah,
carb, keto,
yeah,
like just eat fucking real food. You
yeah.
know what I
It's
mean?
it's not that complicated. It's just
Yeah.
it's just because what gets pushed on social media and what you're gonna get on your explore page is the extreme. And then when you see the extreme over and over and over, that's what you think is normal. And it's like, dude, what you're doing is not fucking normal. Like tying yourself up. Like I understand like being braced in some movements, but it's like tying yourself to this and hanging upside down and doing this movement because it hits your lat this much percentage more in this one study does not matter. It doesn't matter. It's like I don't know, like whenever I do see a video like that on my Instagram if I'm scrolling or something, I'm like, dude, I gotta get off my phone. Like that's my cue to get off my phone. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't do this because it's just it's sad seeing people getting into something that they don't just genuinely like love to do. Like I may not have like you may not have like the best physique in the world, but if you just love training and love doing this shit, like you're that's what will last. And that's what's
Yeah.
sad to me is like doing the Keenan flaps and doing the crazy diets or whatever. Like that's not gonna last for a long time. Like
Yeah.
that's it's like with everything, like the fundamentals will always stick and like last a long time. But the things that just come and go, they just come and go. And the same thing will be with the people that are getting into this for the wrong thing. They're gonna come for the followers, they're not gonna get the followers, and then they're gonna go to something else. And it's like the guys like you and I think like myself that just love to train and love like the process of bodybuilding, whether it be just waking up, knowing you have like a goal every day, knowing you have these meals to get, knowing you have this water to get in, knowing you have these supplements and these steps to get in, and yada yada yada. Loving all of that will carry you someone's like so much further, and like there's so much more enjoyment out of that than like just working out for a like. Because like
Yeah.
what does a like I don't understand I don't understand that thought process, like I just don't get it.
All these debates about high volume, low volume, everything in between. I think people should train in a way that they enjoy. If you're walking in the gym and training a certain way because so and so says it's optimal, but you hate it, you're not going to work as hard. And I guarantee you'll make less progress,
Hmm.
whether that be 6 sets or fucking 25 sets.
Yeah,
If your head is in those sets, you're gonna grow better.
yeah,
If you're doing something that you enjoy, something you can really put your fucking head down and work to, that's how you're gonna grow. So there's no one true solution for everybody in training. It's do what works for your body, do what you enjoy, and if you're in the gym hating life every day because influencer XYZ said only have to do 5 sets. That's all you can do to grow.
Yeah.
No, I'm not doing 5 sets. I want to do 20. You
Yeah.
know, so
And you got to be sure to watch that fatigue. You know what I mean? That shit's crazy.
I know when I'm like, this set is not doing jack shit. I need to leave.
Yeah,
You know,
seriously.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't get that part. Like, I think you've probably heard this. Like, I'm sure you've heard it put this way, but it's like you need to earn your right to worry about fatigue. You know what I mean? Like the guys that are huge and like if they went to failure every set would just not be able to like physically recover. Those are the guys that can like, okay, maybe holding a rep back here would make sense. But it's like for 99.999% of guys, that's not the case. It's literally not the case. And especially guys getting to the gym now. It's like I think it's more prevalent in beginners, and the people that it's more prevalent in are the guys that need to worry about it the least.
Yeah.
It's like you don't drive enough stimulus to yourself to worry about how much fatigue you're accumulating or what have you. Like I just don't. I don't know. I don't get that part. And it's like with me, it's like if I know that I had a rep left in that set, I'm gonna think about that set probably for the next 2 weeks and hate myself because of it. So
Yeah.
it's like I don't know. That whole camp of fatigue management is I understand it, but at the same time it's like just go in there and work hard, bro. Just go in there and bust your nuts. Like that's
Do you hear Jordan Hutchinson or any of the IFBB pros talking about, oh, I'm worried about overtraining? Do you hear any of them saying that? No, no, you don't. So
definitely not.
when I walked in the gym and I was younger with less muscle mass on me, I
Yeah.
could be in there for 3, 4 hours doing 30 sets, and I would wake up the next morning and I'd barely even be sore.
Yeah.
Now that I know how to train, I've had a little bit more like muscle maturity on me. If I
Hmm.
go in there and do 10 purposeful sets, I'm
Yeah.
squared away, you know? So if you're in the gym, if you've been in the gym for less than 2, 3 years, you're still figuring out this shit. Just worry about going in there and busting your balls. Two or so hours, hit all the basic movements. I think if you need to like watch some training videos, Kuba
Yeah.
Kylan,
Yeah. Yeah.
he has some fantastic shit. Just the
Yeah.
way he executes everything purposefully with a reason. If I were to say there's one right way to train, it would be something close to that.
Yeah, he's very smart when it comes to like the bracing of movements and like the execution part of like he's got that shit down and he's got it down to a T. A lot of the British guys like really are good. I've noticed that with a lot of the British bodybuilding community.
JP, JP.
AP, like all of those guys, like their execution on like everything is like bang on, like all of it. Like that's one bodybuilding like space I'd like to go visit is the UK because those guys are like they get after it.
Yeah, 100%.
They fucking
They
get
have
after
some pretty cool gyms over there too, from what I've seen. Yeah, yeah,
Your camera's been frozen for a second. I'm gonna see if it's something on my end. Shit, you're still here, right?
yeah,
You
yeah.
still
I'm still here.
everything? Okay, that'd be fine.
Yeah, I can see him frozen too.
Yeah.
Yeah, what the hell?
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. But yeah, dude, like the UK bodybuilding scene, like that's like besides, I don't think there's any. I mean, like the Brazilian bodybuilding community is kind of big, but like the at UK as far as like on Instagram and everything, like when I see their stuff, it is like those guys are like probably even more into it and committed than like the guys in like the US. I'd think honestly.
They have that Dorian energy to them. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
they
That
all do.
blood
Yeah,
and guts shit.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. With like the younger generation, besides like the fatigue management side of it, and besides the weird nuance things they get into, what is one like the most paramount thing you think young bodybuilders are messing up nowadays?
Listen to too many people at once.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a really
When you
good.
have this information overload, it's hard to commit to one thing and just get shit done. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because instead of just having, say, a coach or a couple close mentors instructing you on how to train, how to eat, how to use supplements, you're guessing. You're guessing 24/7.
yeah,
And when you guess, you're going to be all over the place. And if we know one thing about bodybuilding, it's consistency pays off. You
yeah,
know, if you can't get in a spot where you're consistent with your meals, consistent with your training, recovery, all that, you're not going to get anywhere. So I would say people need to get a couple social media accounts that they follow closely that they trust and stop browsing around so much. You know what I mean?
yeah. There's
That's what I would
especially
say.
like I'm sure you've heard this too. It's like there's so much more information in 2026 than there's ever been, but it's like that's almost a bad thing. It's honestly I think it's I think it's more of a bad thing than a good thing because the majority of kids and guys our age are like very obsessed with their phones, and it's like whenever you have so many different people you're trying to listen to and things you're trying to apply, you end up never honestly you never end up applying half of it, and then you're still stuck in the same spot. So like I could completely agree. I think there are like you need to have like your coach or whatever, like your coach you're paying that's like your actual one-on-one coach, and then you have like a handful of guys that all kind of relatively think the same. Like they have like similar thoughts, so you could think like you could group people like the Unracked podcast could be like one like people that think in that aspect essentially, and then just listen to them. Like, don't I wouldn't try and listen to like Andrew Barry and Chris Tuttle, and then try and also listen to like this influencer over here that is like been working out for 2 years. Like, just focus on like that core group of people or whatever, and then just go from there. But that's a really good point. Is
Yeah.
there's so much info out there now, and it's just like I don't know. It's just scary, man.
When you are seeking out people to get information from,
Yeah,
search out people who have actual results. You know what I mean? Who've put people on the Olympia stage or have become high level competitors themselves.
hmm,
Not some random guy who got a six pack by doing some SARMs and eating
yeah,
1,500 calories a day. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Hmm.
So
Look at the resume.
yeah, yeah,
Look at the res. That's a what's his name? That's a Blue Taylor's thing. He's like because I don't think I think he says that because he's never like competed or he doesn't look like he works out anymore. And all he'll say is look at the resume, and then all of his guys are fucking humongous and look crazy. So it's like just look at the resume. And like you said, a lot of guys, and that's what's sad about the fitness space. And it's been like this for a while now. Is just so many people just try to make a buck and just do not like care about like especially like in the coaching space like so many people just care about the money or the like or whatever, and like those are the people that can sell really good because they're more social media focused or whatever, and then they can just reel in so many people when it's like the real good coaches, like half the time, the really good coaches that I've come to realize have like either no followers or just not a big social media presence because they're too committed on like their clients. They're too zoned in on like what actually matters. And it's like you said, like don't just go hire the guy that's 24 years old, has a six pack, and just has starved himself for 5 years and has never put on any muscle and has just stayed lean down for social media. It's like if you're wanting to get into bodybuilding, it's like look at the guys, look at his physique he has one or he had in the past or whatever, and then look at his resume. Look at the guys that he's put on stage or whatever. It's just I think that's something maybe just guys nowadays just didn't get taught that like growing up or something. It's like look at like you wouldn't. I'm sure you've heard this reference. Like you wouldn't hire a broke financial advisor, and it's like
yeah.
it's like half the guys nowadays will hire someone as a coach, and it's like they either have never produced or they look like shit. And it's like, dude, like, I feel like that's just common sense, but it seems like not a lot of guys have that. It's like followers equate knowledge, and it's like that's not at all what that
Yeah.
means in any aspect. You know what I mean? It's sad, man.
Another thing you kind of touched on with how social media has been affecting the bodybuilding space is
Hmm.
people are trying to look pretty year round. You're never gonna grow, dude. You're
Yeah,
never gonna grow if you're always trying to stay super lean so that you can get goon lighting shots in the gym
yeah,
and get cool nasty videos. You're never gonna be a good open bro. I mean, you're not. Like if I go back and look at Jordan from when he was growing, dude was fluffy. To get that big, you have to be putting the food down, man.
mm,
Guys would disappear for 10 months in the 90s, and then they'd show up for 2 months before the show and bring the best packages arguably ever.
yeah.
So that's another thing people need to worry about is kind of embracing the growth phase as just part of the season of bodybuilding. You
Yeah,
know
I
what I
think
mean?
the guys that don't bulk anymore, the guys that don't get into it for like the right reasons, like they're getting into it for social media, and social media does not praise a guy being a little chunky with a little bit of pudge because he's trying to get big and grow into a class or just put on size for his frame or whatever. It's like what gets pushed to the explore page and what gets the likes is the abs, the looking good, but it's like if you look like that all the time, you are not gonna progress ever. And like I've had guys comment on my stuff. It's like you need to main gain. It's like, dude, I'm like 6 foot tall. I had to cut down to one. I was 144 my last prep. It's like I need size. I need to be big. I got to get big. Like I can't just be lean all the time, or I'm never gonna do anything at all in bodybuilding. It's like guys just don't understand that. And it's like you can like I've gotten this fucking comment so many times on my shit. It's like you can gain muscle barely in a surplus or in a deficit. I'm like, dude, shut up. Like, what are you talking about? Like, no, you can maybe, but yeah, it's gonna take you 65 years to put on 5 pounds of muscle, and it's like people, I don't got time for that. Like, we don't have time for that around here. It's like you have to put like I don't understand. Like, there's a guy that he's multiple times been on my post like you can make just main gain. Just stay at maintenance. I'm like, no, like you can't. Like I don't understand. Like I don't know how to get this across to your fucking brain. It's just that's the crazy thing, man. That's like the social media era just praises like the abs, like I've said, the abs, like you said, the goon lighting. And it's like you can't really, you can have all the goon lighting you want. If you're a little pudgy, it's like nothing's gonna look good. You know what I mean? Nothing's gonna look good with a little bit of pudge, but it's like you gotta push the body weight sometimes. Like obviously don't become like an absolute obese idiot, but it's like you gotta get big. You know what I mean?
People trying to chase the mythical pink unicorn of the recomp. Like, bro, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah,
You're not gonna magically get leaner and put on size unless you're blasting 700 trend. And
yeah,
what fucking person in their right mind is gonna do that?
yeah,
So, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And going back to what you were saying about people looking pretty all year, like
Mhm.
I know Niall on the Transparent podcast.
Yeah, yeah. That's who I was thinking about. Yeah,
Yeah, it was his livelihood, man. Like he made a living by staying lean. So I get it. I understand why people do it and stay shredded all year round and really don't have the opportunity to grow because that's how they pay the bills. But if you're trying to be a high level bodybuilder and compete and win shows and go places, you're gonna have to kind of separate yourself from that social media idea or concept of staying lean all year. That's it. Yeah.
yeah. And he realized that, like in a few of his podcasts, he's like, yeah, I just got to a point where he's like, I'm not making any progress. Like I have to flip a switch because you can tell like you can tell he's a lot more invested into his bodybuilding progress now than like the social media aspect. Probably because he has the money to do that. Like he's made his money from looking cool and being shredded at concerts and shit. Like he can focus on bodybuilding now. But it's like you said, some people do have to like stay lean, whether it be from a business perspective, whether it be like they have coaching and they need to stay relatively lean so they can still get clients or whatever, or maybe their personal training. But it's like even then, if you're like if your main purpose and sole goal of life or whatever is to pursue size and get big in bodybuilding, it's like you've got to get big. Like, it's like just embrace it. It's like do you watch the One Rep podcast?
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like
Yeah.
Joseph will say, like you're built in the off season, and that's literally the bottom line. It's like you build in the off season. Like that is like when you have to lock it the fuck in, and it's like prep is prep. Prep's kind of simple. It's like it's not simple, but it's like you diet down, you do whatever. But it's like if you are wanting to add, he puts if you want to add human to yourself, you're adding on human to yourself. Like that's what matters, and that you can't just do that by you can't do that by being in a 200 calorie surplus. Like, it's not you can't add human to yourself with that little of a surplus, man. But I don't know.
The one exception to that I would say is all the guys in classic with a weight cap.
Yeah.
These guys really have to watch it, and
Hmm.
especially when they're trying to grow in specific places, like say they're trying to bring up their arms or their legs, they have to
Yeah.
be very calculated with how they put on size. They can't just be like an open guy like me and just throw mass on everywhere. I mean, still conscientiously, like I know where I need to grow, but they literally have a weight cap that they can't go above. For that reason, I do understand why they have to be more calculated with their food and how much mass they can put on.
Hmm.
But if you're an open guy, I mean, what the hell is your excuse? Go get big. Quit being a bitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously, yeah. Yeah, I didn't think about that. Like having to be, I bet that's a stressor, man. Like having to be like that, being so close to the cap, and having to be like strategic of where you put muscle, and then like even, I think I've heard of some guys even like being okay with like losing muscle in certain spots to bring
Well, I
up.
mean, think about Earth. Think about
Yeah,
Earth.
yeah.
He was probably dropping 20 pounds of tissue before he
Yeah,
stepped on the stage.
hearing some of those stories of him being like 270 or something, and then
With
having
glute
to
striations.
yeah,
Yeah.
and then having to diet down, like how do you like mentally? I mean, he obviously he said fuck this and I'm moving up, but like I cannot imagine like mentally having to accept I'm about to lose 50 pounds of muscle probably. like I'm about to lose this. Like obviously it's not just straight muscle, but I'm about to lose 50 pounds, and a good chunk of that is literal tissue I put on my body just to fit in this body weight class, and it's like or body.
Yeah, all my hard work, I'm just pissing it down the toilet. Yeah.
I'm glad he moved up. That's that. I remember whenever he was making that transition, like every drive to work I had every morning would be just like watching the updates. Like I was like, dude, this is gonna be crazy. And then when he came out and won those two shows, I was like, that is
Yeah.
that is nuts. He looks crazy. He looks crazy, man. That's awesome. But speaking of like bodybuilding stuff, what are your thoughts on the Arnold right now?
So Hadi, he got his
Yep.
visa, didn't he?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So, and I was looking at a couple of Andrew's updates, and he looks great. He looks fucking massive.
Yeah.
But I don't know if his conditioning is going to be as good as it was at the Olympia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think if he even comes off slightly less conditioned than he was at the Olympia, and Hadi's his typical shredded self,
Yeah.
I think Hadi's going to take it, and I think Andrew's probably going to walk away with second if I had to predict it right now.
Yeah.
But
I'd
Nick
love
is looking
I'd love
fucking
to
crazy
see.
too. Yeah. No, I was just saying. I think it's gonna largely be up to who can come in shape. You
Yeah,
know.
for sure. For sure, yeah. Just with all the stress that hotties had to be put under, like I don't really keep up with politics that much, but like I know his country is like literally under hell right now. Like they had like a literal social media shut off, like, and he was like completely blacked out from the world. And it's like I wonder what that toll will take on him. Like he's been through shit before and like still came to stage. Typical hottie. But it's like I wonder if that will play a factor into his conditioning and everything coming to stage, and if that little bit of like, even just stressing in general will have you holding water like crazy. So it's like I wonder if that'll
Yeah.
play a factor in that. But I guess if he has, what are we at? We're like 4 weeks. How far out
Four
is
or five. Four or
4 or 5
five, I
weeks
think.
in Arnold? I'm sure
Yeah.
if has gotten to the U.S., he'll probably get over here and calm down. And I'm
Get
sure
back with Hani. Chill the fuck out for a little
get
bit.
with Ani and just relax. And then if, like you said, if he does come to stage, typical Hottie, and Andrew is not improved or I would say improved conditioning from the Olympia, it's probably going to be Hottie's show. I'd like to see
I
Andrew
thought Andrew should have beat Hadi. I
really.
thought he should have placed ahead of him at the Olympia. I
Yeah, I
did.
could see that. I wouldn't have batted an eye if that happened. I would like to see Andrew win just because I'm a fan of his physique because he's like a little taller. I like the taller statured bodybuilder right now, like the more of like Samson or like Andrew or whatever. Not saying that Hottie and Derek don't look absolutely psychotic, but like just like the more shorter, bulkier build, I'm just personally not a fan of. So like people like Andrew, I kind of my eye goes to them more. But yeah, I think if Hottie comes in, typical Hottie, it would probably be Hottie, Hottie Andrew. I would like to see Nick get third because I like Nick as
You
a.
think he'll be ahead of Martin?
That's the thing I was thinking about. I don't know because like historically, besides the Olympia, Nick's beaten Martin like every time they've competed against each other. I think so. It's just like I don't know. And with Nick being self-coached as well, there hasn't been a lot of updates on Martin either. Like Martin's been pretty quiet this prep,
He
so it's like
posted like one
yeah,
shot of his back,
yeah,
and
like that.
he didn't look anywhere close to show condition. He
Yeah,
didn't.
I
But
don't know. I
Martin's
would like
body
to.
can change like that, you know.
I don't know. I don't know. I would like to see. I'd like to see Nick get third just because I like Nick's demeanor and I like him as a person. But if Martin is improved and Nick, Martin got fourth at the Olympia,
Fifth.
fifth, yeah. Then Nick got sixth. So like, I don't know. That's gonna be a good battle. That might be even more of a fun battle to see than Andrew and Hottie is them two go at it because they're pretty chirpy against each other. Like Martin's got a hot mouth and Nick's not got a hot mouth, but he's got like a little bit of that shit in
Arrogance.
him. Yeah, yeah,
Arrogance.
yeah,
In a
yeah,
good way. In a
yeah.
good way.
Who else is in that top five or looking for that top five? Brandow. There's Brandow. Who else is there? The Anthony Williams guy that John Druitt's
Yeah.
coaching.
Yeah. He looks
Anthony
freaky.
Williams. I think Hassan Mustafa's doing it, like the shorter, bulkier guy.
Is that the guy with like the crazy delts?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
he's
Okay.
like super short. Who else? Someone else is doing it. Is Tonio do? No, Tonio dropped out of it. Tonio dropped out. But yeah, that top five is gonna be crazy. I think
Are you going?
nah, I wish. Yeah, it would probably be if Hottie comes in, typical Hottie, which honestly, like, Hottie's obviously at his peak or has been at his peak or whatever, but it's like he doesn't really miss. Like him and him and whoever he is in his camp or whatever, like overwatching him, which I think it's probably still Hani. Like I'm sure he still tells him what to do on a pretty regular basis, but like I don't think Hani or Hadi's missed like really ever. Like
His version of missing is other people's level of hitting it
nailing.
on the jackpot for
Yeah, exactly,
conditioning. So,
exactly, exactly. I think if Hadi comes in, typical Hadi, he'll walk away with it. Andrew second. I'm gonna go ahead and say Nick third, and then Martin fourth, and then that fifth spot. You know who likes to get fifth?
mm.
Mo Fuda.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
some of his updates with that Patrick Tor's been putting up. I'm like,
yeah.
dude, oh my! But then I know they've really hit on his back. Like said, his back's kind of bad. And I saw a back shot today, and I was like, yeah, they're kind of right. They are kind of right. And then
What does he just lack density? The main
yeah,
problem.
it's just like the front is like I'm sure you probably have his front lat like in your head right now. It's like that is a crazy shot. And then I swiped and it was a back lat, and I was like, "Ah, shit, kind of let me down. I was like, damn it, that's not what I expected. But I know that Brandout. I heard Luke Pritchard talking about it today on a podcast where he was like, Brandout didn't have the time to like grow or anything the last year because the reason he didn't compete last year was like a liver thing. So you can't really like put on size if your liver is
Nothing's going to be working properly. You won't be able to process food or anything. Yeah.
yeah, so he hasn't had the time to put on size, so it's like he may just come back and be the exact same brand out as he was before. So it's like if he comes in the exact same he was before, and I don't know if him and Mo Fuda have ever competed against each other, but I personally would like to see Fuda in that fifth spot. But I haven't really looked at him and Brand side by side before, so who knows?
What do you think about Derek in the upcoming shows? Do you think he's going to hang on to the title? Do you think he will?
Derek, oh man, I kind of have a not what's the word, stigma? No, I don't know. There's something about Derek I just don't like. I'm just gonna say it. Like he's
Is it because it doesn't seem genuine? Is that why?
yes,
Yeah.
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 Like there's something about it where it's like, yeah, man. Like I'm like, shut up, like stop. Like I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is about his demeanor that's really easy to like see through, but it's like I just don't like there's just some people that are like that in the world, and I think he's one of them. But I'm just like I want you to shut up. Like I just want you to shut up.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know. Like whenever he won last year, like I was like, yeah, he looks good, but it's just like I don't know. I would like to see Samson come back and beat him just because speaking of not to change the subject or whatever, but like what are your thoughts on Samson being 350 right now?
I
Hello?
almost feel like he has like some sort of emotional trauma from being so small. Small by his standards, of course, at the Olympia. So
Yeah,
now he's like going the complete opposite direction and just
yeah,
getting as big as fucking humanly possible. And I think we've seen this go south with Nick before, where they start to lose some midsection control. They start to lose shape. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
I I hope it works out for him. The dude's got genetics like nobody else for putting on size.
Quite
But
literally.
is he overdoing it? I mean, we'll see. I kind of my gut tells me maybe a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think 350 is kind of crazy. I feel like there's gonna be a little bit of negative that comes from this. Like, I don't know. I do think I think he's just been like, I'm pushing the gas. I don't care. I'm getting huge, and I think he's like we were talking about earlier. It's like more is always better. More, 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 and it's like I know he has all the resources as far as people to refer to and talk to about this sort of thing. Like I know that Marlinka isn't his only source of coaching. Like I'm sure he's talking to everybody on the planet to get advice. But like I don't think that if she's his coach, I personally think he needs to get with some like another. I'm not saying she isn't a coach. I'm not trying to knock her because they did kind of win the Olympia, but she didn't really do like I'm not trying to knock her or anything, but she didn't really do all the work. She kind of just like picked him up and like just carried him to the Olympia. You know what I mean? I do think that it'd be probably more advantageous for Samson to get like an actual.
I will say, there's not a whole lot of people besides my wife that can make me three. You make me eat 3 eggs for breakfast and call it good. So
Yeah, that's a good
I
point.
think she did definitely help him get in shape. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, that
But
especially having someone that can literally see you every
yeah,
single day, at every moment in every single lighting situation, every single second of the day, that definitely plays a role. I do think, and like I said, Samson could literally work with any coach in the world he wanted to, if he wanted to. But I think I don't know. I would like to see. Like, going back to your question, I kind of like changed the subject on you. Do I think he'll hold the title? I don't really know because like Hadi, like I said, is kind of he's not really getting better. And like we've seen, his Tyler's brought it up, like his leg getting like his leg atrophying or whatever. So it's like I think Hottie is probably not gonna overcome Derek at this point. Like come back and beat him. Like who knows? Like it's bodybuilding. Like literally anything can happen. I do think the probably the closest guy in my opinion, that's next guy, the biggest threat to Derek in my opinion, is Andrew, because Andrew has, I think, more potential to improve than the other guys. Like I feel like Samson could improve here and there, but I feel like there's more boxes and more gaps that Andrew could fill that would put his physique above where it's currently at than Samson and Derek does. So I think if anyone's gonna take it from Derek, it's gonna be Andrew. When I don't really know, but I like I said, I would like to see someone else take the crown this year. To be honest.
Not to shit talk Derek. I mean,
Yeah,
the dude's incredible with what he's accomplished, but it's just his face gets old, you know.
right, and that's what it is. And it's like you said, it's like the people are really easy to read through. I set this for an hour. I hope this doesn't just end at an hour because we're about to be at an hour. But if it does, then fucking whatever. But is this something about like ingenuity? I don't even know if that's the word. Being ingenuine can be read through by anybody so quickly, and like I've even heard people in the past say he used to have like a dickhead mentality and whatever. And it's like whenever you go from that, like obviously I'm big on scripture and like Jesus and the Lord and everything too, but it's like going from that to like being as open about it and in your face about it as he is, it is kind of like, is that really who you are? You know what
It
I
seems
mean?
like you're almost trying to cover
Yeah,
up something by
yeah.
being so like almost holier than thou in a way.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. Which I know that like you can change. I get it. Like people change, yada yada yada. But it's like I don't know if it's genuine from you, man. Like I just don't get it. Like I don't know. Like I don't know. We'll never
I don't
know.
necessarily think, bodybuilding shows should all be like, it's not a fucking beauty pageant. Like, we're not judging them based off their personality.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously that can change how we think about an athlete, but the best physique should win.
yeah.
And I think Derek has brought some packages that have been obviously worthy of winning.
Hmm.
But when he's kind of like the golden boy of the IFBB,
Yeah.
that just bothers the shit out of me. You
Do
know,
you think, not to interrupt, but do you think that there are politics in that like the hierarchy of bodybuilding right now, like the top guys? You think it's a little bit of bias?
I want to say no, but at the end of the day, it's a business. They're
Yeah.
trying to make money. So I obviously think there's going to be some decisions made that favor more revenue coming in, and
Yeah.
whether that be promoting a certain athlete more.
I hate
I
that.
don't want to say they ever change scorecards. I think I can't just jump to conclusions there.
Yeah,
But
that's
yes,
crazy.
I think there's politics involved. I do.
Yeah, that's speaking of politics and stuff like that, like in shows, who do you think won Pittsburgh? Nick or Derek?
Nick,
That's
hands down, Nick,
I was hoping we were
hands
on the
down.
same page there. Yeah, I thought yeah, that's I mean even like half the judges had Nick winning or whatever, but like just like you said, I do think there's a little bit of even as much as people will say the judges don't care, they don't think about that in the back of their head. At the end of the day, they're human. Like those little thoughts of like, like letting this guy win would kind of get our ticket sales up, maybe we should do this. That kind of thought is always going to be there because they're human. Like you can't say they're bad people because they think that. That's just kind of a part of like life or whatever.
Mhm.
But it's like it does suck to kind of think that is probably a thing. Like they do have a little bit of bias, especially for Derek. I do think Derek's like the younger sibling that everyone like just loves and like caters to. Is like he's kind of like that right now, and I don't know. It's just I don't like that. I don't like that, man. Especially Derek being who Derek is and the way he is. It's like that doesn't help the fact at all. I
Yeah.
don't know. Who are we to judge? I guess I don't know. But I wanted one point I wanted to allude back to you is what are your big goals with bodybuilding? Like I'm sure they've changed for you, multiple times or whatever. Like right now, what does Sam like what are your big goals right now like for bodybuilding?
So obviously, I want my pro card, but I don't want to win a pro card being number two in nationals or just barely scraping by,
Yeah.
or going to some smaller show and winning it that way.
Yeah.
When I win my pro card, I want to be in a position where I can be a competitive pro. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So really, right now, it's all about building the structure that I do have and putting on quality tissue.
Mhm.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I do realize I need a lot more stage presence or just overall comfortable. I need to be more comfortable posing pretty much.
Yeah.
So that stage presence is very important. So I do need experience. So I'm looking at doing nationals next.
Yeah.
And in terms of that, we'll see where my physique is at that point.
Hmm.
I'm going to get my pro card at some point,
Yeah, for sure.
God willing, in the near future.
Yeah,
But
most definitely, brother.
yeah,
Definitely
when
fucking. Yeah.
when I do that, I need to be in a spot where I'm like, okay, I can hang with these guys.
Yeah.
Not okay. I need to go take a fucking 4 year off season so I can go to a pro show and not get shit kicked.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. You
right
have a
now, I'm
good.
just
That's an
yeah,
awesome perspective to have on it. Is like I want to have a pro level physique, but have a pro level competitive physique. Not like I got second place at the Billy Bob Classic and got my pro card, and then you, like you said, have to take 5 years to put on the side. That's a really good. That's a great perspective. And I hear all the guys that have an idea and understand bodybuilding a lot better than like the guys that just want a pro card simply for the status. It's like I want a pro level physique. I don't want the pro card. You know what I mean? I put that on my story about like what the podcast is about or whatever. It's like you should want to have like pro level execution of your days, pro level stage presence, pro level what have you. And if you can get all of those things first, the pro card will come. Whether it be 19, 20 years old for you or whether it be 25 for someone else, if you have the pro level execution and genetics play a part in this, we have to admit that, but if you
yeah.
have a certain set of genetics and you have pro level execution on your sleep, your nutrition, your diet, your training, your routine, whatever, what have you, it'll come eventually. It's just like people need to like aim for having. You have to like. My coach told me this, and I think I've heard this on different podcasts and like self help books. Like you have to become the pro before you are the pro. And
Yeah.
that's what people should aim for. Like have the pro level execution and yada 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 before the pro card will come eventually for
You
most.
have to walk the walk
Yeah,
before you can ever achieve the physique. So
yeah,
that means living like you are a professional. You're not gonna half-ass it and get a level of physique like that.
yeah,
However you structure your day, act like you already got that damn pro card. It'll come that way. It's not gonna come if you're living like some regional level NPC competitor,
yeah,
going having 2 cheat meals a week and going to bed at 5 a.m. It's not gonna happen. You know.
yeah.
So
I
yeah,
I think that's hard for people to like articulate in their mind that like I need to be this committed. Like I'm just getting started. Like I'm just young. Or it's like if you I even fall victim to this. I'll be completely honest. I'm working on it, but it's like if you think like that forever, that's what you will forever be. If you stay in that mindset of like, well, I'm just getting started, I can just, I can go hang out this week, I can be out this weekend and not sleep at all, and I can just, I missed a couple meals and so be it. But it's like, if you tell yourself that that's okay, you will continue to think that's okay, and then you will look back, and it's been 10 years of you doing that, and you're fucked. You're screwed. You know what I mean? Like the human mind is so good about like justifying shitty actions like that, validifying it in your mind, like being like, oh yeah, that's fine. Like it could be the most benign, crazy thing, and like your brain will find a way to say it's fine. You know what I mean? And guys will just justify being half-assed in this or whatever, and then like they look back and like, why don't I have a pro card yet? It's like, well, you've missed 15 training sessions the past 2 months. You missed 15 meals. You average more screen time than you do sleep time. It's like you don't have the execution part down. You don't have all that down yet. And it's like I don't know. That's why I think like we've mentioned, and that's kind of like the main reason I wanted to have you on is like just showing someone that like loves the execution and understands that part of it, especially being so young like yourself. And it's like understanding that you're gonna have a career in. I think having that understanding of needing to execute on that high of a level will carry over into like literally anything you want to. Like I know I just kind of like switched topics right there, but like literally like for you, for example, like you'll do good in like anything you do because you have that understanding of the execution is what matters. You know what I mean? Not the achieving of the thing. It's the work that led up to it that ultimately is what matters. You know what they always say? It's the journey. It's the journey getting to the whatever. It's not the accomplishment itself. So like that's a big part I think a lot of guys miss nowadays. The work is what matters. As corny and as cliche and as old head as it sounds, it will always ring true.
it's a hell of a lot easier too when you love it. You know,
Fucking mic drop.
when you love what you're doing, it never feels like work. Like I've heard it over and over. Like you don't walk in the gym and think, "Oh shit, I have to do legs." You're like, "Holy shit, I get to do legs."
Yeah.
And
I
if you
get
don't
it.
have that mindset and that doesn't come naturally with what you're doing, maybe it's not for you. Maybe
Yeah.
go find something else to be passionate about. Not to discourage someone from being, sedentary or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying don't work out, but to be a competitive bodybuilder, you have to love what you're doing, or you're not gonna ever succeed at it, and you're gonna hate life,
Yeah.
and that's not how you should live.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's a great point, man. Like you have to love like I think God like builds people for certain situations and like certain archetypes of people, and I think the ones that will succeed in bodybuilding are the ones that love like just the you have like you can love training, cool, but it's like you also need to love like the monotonous like wake up, do your vacuums, pin your drugs, do your cardio, do your have meal one at 8 a.m., have meal two at
yes,
10:30. I have to do this at this time. And so you have to love all of that as well. It's like you can love training, perfect. That's awesome. You know, I'm sure that's the reason that like 85% of bodybuilders get into bodybuilding itself is because they love the gym part. But
yeah,
it's to be like a competitive bodybuilder and to love and to last in that aspect, you've got to love the I'm in bed at 8:30. I even have my blue light glasses on at 8 o'clock. I'm not gonna have any sleep disruption. I'm gonna get up. I love the process of like I just said, getting up, going to the bathroom, pinning my drugs, doing this, doing that, get meal at this time, meal at this time, and you have to love all of that too. And you know, it's just I don't think there's probably I don't know, 0.5% of people that are around our age that understand that part of it. And it's just kind of like, it's like that's where the money's at. You know what I mean? Like that's where
hmm
the genuine like love for it is at. Like I don't like you can't tell me that a good dopamine hit comes from getting 50,000 likes on a post. You know, a real good dopamine hit is like going in and like burying a hack squat set or burying a set or whatever.
go into failure,
Yeah,
dude. That feeling,
or looking back on a week of like perfectly executed diet and that stuff like that. Like that is what matters. And
and
doing
then
that,
your check-ins are fucking spot on.
yeah,
Oh man,
yeah,
yeah,
those
yeah.
things. Like there are those certain things in life, and this applies to literally everything. But with bodybuilding specifically, like you can't. There's just certain things you can't teach. Like if you have to, you just have to get it. And I think when it comes to like just getting it, I feel like this is gonna make a really random point, but I think guys that have like a sports background like get it. And I think I heard a fuck who was talking about it? They were talking about like guys that were like some kind of he made some reference on the certain people getting into bodybuilding now. It was like back then it was like the dogs of like the football team, and now it's like some kind of like book nerds or whatever. The reference was fucking hilarious, but I think you have to like I do think having some kind of like sports background. I know this is like a really random like a really random off point. I think having a sports background really helps people like just get it, like understand. And I think if you don't have like some sort of and like you said, your dad was in the military, the army.
Yeah, yeah, he
Yeah,
was
I think that helps.
24 years.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
fucking awesome. I think having some sort of background like that will help so much in a bodybuilding aspect because have you ever had like a badass coach, like a coach that just screamed in your face?
Yeah,
Yeah,
good ones and bad ones that screamed in my face.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like I think like if you I think kids that are lacking that nowadays and that missing from them and then they get into bodybuilding, it's like I feel like having that will always be of benefit. I can't even remember what brought me to bring this point
it's
up.
coachability, man. It's coachability. If
Yeah.
you hear who was it? I think it was Phil Heath. He
Mm.
played basketball in college,
Yeah, yeah.
and the thing that made him rise above everyone else so quickly was he was coachable. He says this himself, like not letting your ego stop you from doing anything, leaving your fucking ego at the door, and just listening to what your coach says, and not being butthurt if they say, "Oh, you did this like shit," or "improve here," and just doing it. You know,
Just do the damn thing. Yeah.
sports teaches you that. Yeah,
Yeah, like
yeah.
I've heard people say that too. Is like just being coachable is like such a underrated skill in every aspect of life. Bodybuilding is for sure. Like especially if you have like a blunt ass coach that is just like, hey, this set was horrible, or like, hey, big boy, you need to quit cheating on your diet. If you can't just take that, if you don't have some sort of sports background where you had like a coach yelling in your face, calling you a disappointment, and the whole team laughing at you, it's like if you don't have that sort of like history, it's like bodybuilding is, and if you have like a good coach, it's not gonna be pretty. You know what I mean? Like if you grew up like, I don't know, playing fucking soccer and you had like the weak ass coach all the time. It's like whenever you try to get a bodybuilding and there's a coach that's like, hey, you're gonna have to do 2 hours of cardio and we're eating fish and greens for the last 4 weeks. I don't know what you're gonna do about it. You have to get over it. It's like if you don't have like some sort of like sports background to kind of like just get that and have like that little bit of extra like I think that's another thing. Another point I can go down is like with training intensity. I think that guys that don't have a sports background and don't have like the like that extra oomph to their some of their sets, like they don't make up like as much progress as the guys that are just have the genuine fun in the gym as guys that do. You know what I mean? Because like there's not a better like I don't know with like playing hockey or whatever. With like if you were
I played football too.
you did okay, yeah.
I
So
did.
like
Yeah.
a max day, like a max day in the gym, like that's
Everyone's in there screaming at you,
yes,
throwing
yes,
out the smelling salts.
yes.
The
Like
energy is
banging on the
insane.
weights and shit. Like you have to bring. Like I've made that point in my post before. It's like you need to bring that energy to sets every day. Like that is the energy that you have to carry into every session for a long time. And I think if you don't have a sports like if you don't have a sports background, you don't know what that feels like. Like you don't know what it feels like to have a bunch of shirtless meatheads banging on weights, and you're under 400 pounds, 500 pounds, and you have to squat it. Like you can't miss. And it's like I don't think if you, not even I don't think you can't bring that mentality to sets if you've never been through that. And I think that's why having like a sports background is like really clutch for that aspect. And guys that just don't, it's like I don't.
So it's a little bit foreign to them, you
Yeah,
know?
like that's just something you can't teach, and that's what brought us to this. I lost my fucking train of thought. What brought us to the sports background was the coachability point.
Yeah.
It's like you have to be. There's just some things in bodybuilding that like you just can't teach. Like
Well, going back to people who like didn't do sports, I know of plenty of bodybuilders who didn't, and the biggest thing with that is surrounding yourself with a group of people who are gonna push you, even if it's post sports, you know. So just because you didn't do fucking football in high school
mhm.
doesn't mean you can't find that level of intensity. You're just gonna have to pick it up now, you know.
Yeah, you gotta go
Sure,
find it.
it's
Yeah.
not gonna be as natural or as easy as when you were 16 in the weight room, but you can still definitely do it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a great point. It's like if you want that kind of mentality and you want that kind of drive, go find it. If you don't have that within you, but it's like I don't know, man. There's just something about being able to like pull that out of yourself, like that extra. Like I know you know the feeling of like going into sessions like nervous or like
Yeah.
going into sets with that
Especially a
mentality.
leg day. Like, am I gonna survive this?
Yeah, like going into sessions like I'm going to murder this. Like the I'm sure you may have seen my coach and he's made posts about this before. He's like, you never get this set back. You never get this back. Like you will never get this set on Thursday, February 5th at 7 o'clock. You're never gonna get this back. And you have to carry that kind of mentality. I mean, you know, it can be a little mentally draining to carry that kind of mentality into every single set. But like those big like hack squat sets or deadlift sets or like heavy T-bar rows or what have you, whatever, you have to carry that energy into it. And it's like there's arguably no better feeling than bringing that energy to a set, knowing that you took it there, knowing that you had nothing left on the table, and looking back and being like, I progressed, whether it be in weight, reps. You know, we could even go into the how to progress in the gym aspect and whatever. But like knowing that you can look back at that set and be like, I left everything on the table there. There's literally nothing that tops that in my opinion. Like having that mental like I just sent it there. Like that is such a high that like I keep saying, you can't teach that. You can't teach that.
You're spot on, brother. You're spot on. And
It's that shit.
another thing is just like I was saying in the gym, you gotta find fucking savages to surround yourself with. Because
Yeah.
to be a savage, you gotta live amongst them, you know. So shout out guy I train with, Michael Leone, if you want to look him up.
Hmm.
Dude's fucking insane. He does the mega mass linear row and moves the whole fucking machine. Okay, this guy's yeah. fucking savage.
That's
But
awesome.
when I do train with this dude, I guarantee you, I get another 30% of myself
That's
to
awesome.
really exert myself more. Even though I'm walking in the gym, I'm never like, "Oh, I'm gonna give nothing but 100%." But when
Yeah.
you're with someone else, I don't care how much you can give by yourself rather. You're gonna go the extra mile
Yeah.
with a fucking maniac with you.
Of course,
So
of course. Yeah,
yeah,
that's how
yeah,
I feel with my no one in Mina, that's the city I live in. No one in Mina like bodybuilds or has any clue. If I said, "Yeah, you know about Andrew Jack?" they'd be like, "You know,
yeah,
it's like so that's the main reason I'm when I moved to Dallas is like that's where that's kind of like in my opinion right now the bodybuilding like mecca is in that whole area. Like you could say Vegas maybe, but I like for my forte of bodybuilding per se,
old school
it,
bodybuilding
it's
and new school
it's
blended, Texas.
Dallas, yeah, and that's the main reason I want to get down there. Is like my dad's told me, and I've known this for a while. It's like if you want to be a beast, if you want to, and it doesn't have to be bodybuilding. It can be if you want to be an actor, you go to Los Angeles. If you want to be, I don't know, if you could, I don't know, like stock trader, you go to New York City or whatever. If you want to be a bodybuilder, you go to Texas right now. Like that's just as simple as that. And like you said, surrounding yourself with those kind of people. It's like we talked about earlier. Environment, you can make that in your head, but there is you will always subconsciously push harder when there's like a freak with you or just someone that's pushing you. No
Yep.
matter what. No, you could say I'm giving my 100%, but like if I'm on a hack squat and my coach walks in, dog, you know I'm getting 5 more reps. I don't care. Like I don't care.
Something in your brain just
Yeah,
switches.
I don't physically
Yeah.
care how I get it. I'm getting 5 more reps, and the only person that brings that out in me that comes to my gym is my dad. Like if my dad travels or whatever, and he's never home, and I don't really have like the best whatever with him. But like when he's in there, like that's the only thing I compare it to is like if my dad walks in the gym, dog, I'm getting a couple more reps. I don't care what it takes out of me, and it's like that's how it is like with surrounding yourself with guys that are like minded or like ultimately guys you need to like I think you should always surround yourself with guys like if you're here they're here to like keep climbing the ranks or whatever to improve yourself. But whenever you surround yourself like that with people like that, like I can't imagine how like motivating that is, especially being in like Dallas. Like you said, it's like you could be on the Stairmaster and then like Jordan Hutchinson and like doesn't Colossus King go to Destination 2? Am I tweaking?
Yep. Yeah, yeah. The
Yeah.
giant black dude with the arms as big as my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like if you're doing a Stairmaster or if you're doing an exercise and you're like, yeah, man, I'm gonna leave a couple in the tank today, and you look to your left and it's that guy, it's like, no, you're not. Like, no, you're not. Like, it's that's gonna be a brain fuck for me, bro. If I can get moved down there and get situated, like because like coming from like a smaller town to like coming from 5,000 people to like how many people's in Dallas? Like I don't even know, like 2 million or whatever, 3 million. I
The
don't even
whole
know.
Dallas area is spread as hell, man. It's
Yeah.
like it's spread out, you know?
Yeah, and McKinney's like not that we're like geographic gods or whatever, but isn't McKinney like on the like upper right part of Dallas? Is that right? Like if you're
Yeah,
looking at a
yes.
map, it's like up right. Yeah, okay.
It's north of Allen, I believe.
Yeah, where are you at?
Right now, I'm at my girl's place in McKinney, of all places.
Shit, yeah,
Yeah.
awesome. Hell yeah.
She
So
lives in McKinney. I live in the Irving area.
okay, yeah,
So a little bit south.
yeah. I have a little bit of like
Yeah.
history with Texas. My brother lives in Houston. Or he's lived in Dallas. He's lived in Houston. He's lived in San Antonio. So he's been down there for a while. But I've never lived anywhere but home. So it's like I'm just up and moving to Dallas. So that's gonna be something. But it's like
When
this.
you're down here, we need to hit a session, man.
Of
We need
course,
to hit
yeah,
a session.
of
Yeah.
course, yeah. I'll definitely hit you up when I get moved down there. I don't know when that'll be, but I'm coming to visit for a week at the end of the month
Oh, no shit.
from the 27th to the 1st of March. I'm going to be visiting and just seeing the area. So like my not to spill on my personal life or anything, but I work at Walmart right now. So what I'm
Yeah.
going to do is like my coach's apartment is here and there's a Walmart like here. And I'm literally going to transfer to this Walmart and just live here and just walk back and forth. And
Sounds like a
destination,
good deal to me.
do what?
Shit. It sounds like a good deal to me.
Yeah, like whenever we were having that talk about it, and he was like, "Dude, I'm literally looking at a Walmart right now. You could change it to." I was like, "Oh, there's one like literally in walking distance from your fucking apartment." He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay." So yeah, I'm gonna be coming down from the 27th to the 1st. So if we can get a session in, bro, that'd be sick. That would be or just meet or whatever. That'd be
Yeah.
like
Let's smash some legs with some back.
Yeah,
Let's
for
kill
sure.
that.
Yeah. I wanted to go around and look at like just the neighborhood in general, just to see like I don't want to like pull up in like the apartments in like the ghetto and like I would get mugged, but like I just want to come down and visit the area, go see destination, and kind of get a feel for the area. How far is what's the closest absolute recomp to McKinney?
The one in Frisco.
Yeah,
The
okay.
one in Frisco is around a 15-minute drive from McKinney.
Hell yeah, bro. Hell yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. So I'll be in talks with you on that for sure. Getting that when I go down there and visit, we could
Yeah.
and get a session or whatever. But brother,
We can throw a podcast up live. How about that?
yeah, bro, that'd be fucking sick. That'd be fucking awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, bro, it's been great talking to you. We covered all the points that I wanted to go over. And one last thing, I want to end my podcast with these. Whenever your time is up, whenever you pass away, whatever, whenever you're gone, what do you want to be? What do you, Sam Molfino, want to be remembered as? As a bodybuilder, as a person, as a friend, son, like just a whole encompassing view of it. What do you want to be remembered as? Like how?
Yeah, that's a tough one. Making me get deep right now.
Yeah.
I want to be known as someone who gave my 100% to whatever I did. So whether that be involvement in other people's lives, in relationships, in my own passions, in business endeavors, bodybuilding, I never want to ever be remembered as anyone who gave everything, who didn't give like whatever they had in the tank. So for me, I'm never going to go in and half-ass something. Once I start it, I'm going to finish it, and I'm going to finish it to the best of my ability. So with me, it's really just you can't make up effort. You can fake a lot of things, you can't fake effort.
Yeah.
So whatever you do in life, do it 100%. Like my dad used to say, if you're going to miss a tackle, miss it fucking
So
fast.
there.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah, that's a good one,
that's
man.
really it.
That's
Yeah.
beautiful, bro. It's just like you said, you cannot fake effort. So that's a good one, bro. That's awesome. But yeah, this has been great, man. I'll have this all chopped up and looking pretty or whatever in a couple days, and then it'll be on my YouTube or whatever. But bro, this was fucking awesome. This was really good. So I'll be in contact with you. We'll be chatting back and forth, whatever. I'll shoot you the link to this video whenever it comes out. And like we're talking about, bro. Whenever I come down to visit at the end of the month, I'll hit you up, and if we can get something in, that'd be sick. A live podcast would be that'd be awesome. But
Hell yeah.
if you have any questions about anything, bro, just hit me up, and I'll talk to you soon, man.
Sure, bet. Sounds good.
See you, brother.
Appreciate you, dog.
Yes, sir.
Take it
Later.
easy.